Okay, welcome back. I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films. This is the final episode of Stranger Things. This is the Rightside Up. And we are about to get into the final episode of Stranger Things, the 2-hour long goodbye of this season, and the final battle, which is fine. It's fine, but yeah, so... and with that level of excitement, we should get going, and we'll have a discussion afterwards, of course. And I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have enjoyed these reactions, because Lord knows I'm actually kind of iffy on my own reactions. I'm kind of nervous about these, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. And that is basically that. So for one final time, let's get moving on this episode of Stranger Things. Here we go. Oh my god. Well, that's it. That is the end of Stranger Things. Unless the dumb conspiracy theorists are right, and there is a secret 9th episode, which there's not, because that's stupid, and that assumes that the Duffer Brothers are good writers, and just frankly, they're not. So... that said, it's just fine, I guess. Christ, how long was that ending? Such a long ending, man. I mean, I had heard that this went like full Return of the King and just gave you, closure on every character, and it's like, alright, fine. But, I don't know, man. It was fine. I definitely still agree with my Pepsi metaphor. Season 1, straight out of the fridge, cracking open a nice cold Pepsi. Great. But it's 5 hours later. You really should have finished that Pepsi sooner. That's really it. That's what Stranger Things is. It's not bad, but it's not... It very clearly overstayed its welcome. They very clearly did not plan any of this to be this gigantic epic. This big 80s sci-fi supernatural epic. No. A little credit, I guess, they made the Mind Flayer relevant again. Kind of. At least works better. Now, the thing is, I had heard that there was like a play. There was like a Stranger Things stage play that went into how Henry got his powers. And I thought, well, that's fucking stupid. Why would you not put that in the show? But they did. That this guy had this element, whatever it was, and it was essentially just a piece of the Mind Flayer that infected Henry and gave him his powers. So, and it's interesting because they don't try to do a bait and switch of like, oh, well, it is actually the Mind Flayer this whole time. It's like, no, it was him. It was Vecna. It's just Vecna and the Mind Flayer were partners. Neither of them controlled the other. They were very much equals, basically. So, sure. Christ almighty, though. 2 hours. That was a movie. It's a movie. Hire an editor. And the thing, too, was, like, there was, like, a spot. What was it? Like, it was, like, at the 57-minute mark. It was, like, right after... It was somewhere I noted it was, like, around the 55 to 57-minute mark, I think. Somewhere around there was, like, a moment where you could cut that and have 2-hour-long episodes, There you go, the 9th episode. Like, that... This should not... Like, there was a place. There were places. It's the same thing we said last season, with the season 4 finale, which, that was 2.5 hours long. Thankfully, this was only 2 hours, but there was no justification for letting it go that long. That's not television, Episodes of television should not be that long. At most, 80 minutes, which is how long, like, an episode of Sherlock is. But then again, Sherlock only gave you 3 of those episodes per season. Not 8, And Sherlock, people will disagree with this. Sherlock was not that bloated, though. I mean, this season is just bloated. Okay, so we had the final battle, 11 versus Vecna. It was the most uninteresting fight in the world. Yeah, they just kind of pointed at each other until she killed him. Yeah. If you can hear that, by the way, that's my dog. He's asleep in here, so... Yeah, not a very interesting fight. It is still weird that wasn't just the plan from the beginning, But, like, again, they go through this whole thing of, like, well... I mean, I guess they had to get to him to stop the worlds moving together, but still, I don't know. I also saw an article from, like, when this season was beginning, and the headline was like, the Duffer Brothers have wanted to destroy Hawkins for years now. That's just a big fat fucking lie, because they destroyed Hawkins in the Upside Down, but what that led us to believe was that there was a full-scale war with Vecna going on in Hawkins, and that just was not the case. So, yeah, the military is still the absolute worst part of this show. It's just so stupid, and it adds nothing except a little bit of tension, and that's it. It's really that was really bad. It's an ungodly waste of Linda Hamilton too, I thought they were going to do a thing where it's like, well, she, like, saves her, Maybe she sees everything that happens and then she, like, saves her at the end and, like, stands down, but no. And then after that, they just left. They didn't just, like, throw them in a prison in Alcatraz, Not that Alcatraz was still, or I guess Guantanamo. They didn't just throw all of these people into Guantanamo forever. They just, like, well, 11's gone. Guess we'll leave too. Stupid. So bad. Yeah, I guess that's it. Everyone left Hawkins, basically. I kind of like that. They just fucking left. And I will say it was nice to see them playing D&D at the end, because... the whole show was supposed to be, this nice, 80s nostalgia thing. None of which was present in this season until that ending, so that's it. That's the only 80s nostalgia thing in this entire season. I will say that since this show started, which that was, what, like 2016, 2017? I think it was 2016. So ending in 2025, that was 9 years, but... starting in like 2016, that is back when 80s nostalgia was still a thing. And don't get me wrong, people still have 80s nostalgia, but we've all kind of moved on. Like, let me tell you from, in terms of the retro gaming sphere, a lot of people have kind of moved on from 80s nostalgia, Like, we all watched the Angry Video Game Nerd playing bad NES games, but even he has kind of moved on. Sure, there are still bad NES games and stuff for him to do, but, like, you gotta branch out at that point. You can't just stay like that forever. And, yeah, most people, like, the people that are getting nostalgic for retro video games now are getting into, like, the PS1 and the N64 and the PS2 and the GameCube and the Xbox and the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 even, you know? Like, nostalgia has kind of moved on now. And it makes sense because those kids are growing up. Yeah, I don't have 80s nostalgia because I wasn't alive in the 80s. Contrary to what you might think, because of this hair, I was born in 1997. I'm only 28 years old. So yeah, I don't have that 80s nostalgia. I enjoyed the show when it started, but yeah, this is kind of a sign of the times, I must say, because this was the second show I ever reacted to. I started with Doctor Who, and then a few months after I started that, I started Stranger Things. And now that's over. Stranger Things is over. Game of Thrones, which I did shortly after that, is over. Of course, that ended a long time ago. That ended in, 2019. So... But this was the second show I ever reacted to, and now we're done. Might be time to move on. I don't want to get, dour or anything, but... I mean, I've been thinking about the future of this channel, and there's a part of me that's I don't know how much I can sustain this channel. Now I'm kind of looking at this and just thinking, well... Maybe I need to move on too. In the way that Stranger Things didn't do. Maybe it's time I move on. But then I do remember that I watched good shows. I'm watching Black Clover and Dr. Stone, and I'm about, at time of recording this, next week I've got Free Ren season 2. So don't worry, I that might have sounded kind of doom and gloomy, but I mean, I'll probably keep up the channel in some form for a while, you know? I'm not just gonna quit cold turkey one day, I think. At least not anytime soon. So there will at least be something on the channel, but yeah. Of course, again, there's a part of me that thinks, who's watching this video? You know? God knows how long this video is, but how many people are actually watching this video? You know? I will give credit. It's not many people, but there are people that watch my Black Clover reactions. There are people that watch my Dr. Stone reactions and my Free Ren reactions and stuff. And it's that kind of thing that keeps me going. But I do think about this and I wonder, do I need to keep going? Because I mean, look at this. Look at all of this. How many people are actually going to watch this fucking video? I don't know. But I'm going to put it out anyway because, I mean, fuck, it's too late now. So if you're watching this video, sound off in the comments. If you made it through this video, sound off in the comments. If even one of you made it, then this wasn't a total waste of time. Granted, even if none of you made it, this wasn't a total waste of time because I finished it. I finished Stranger Things. There are plenty of other shows that I have dropped without finishing. Oh, plenty, I say 2. My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen, I dropped both of those instead of finishing them. I finished this, and that's good, you know? Whether or not, however long the channel keeps going is fine. I don't know. We'll all live, and it'll be fine. But we gotta talk about this season. Although, do we? I don't know. I don't know how much more I can say about this season that I haven't said for the past 8 episodes. Again, is this bad? Not really. Not necessarily. It's not like the end of Game of Thrones, which was so out of character and rushed and bad. This was not rushed, let me tell you. But it just was unnecessary, you know? It was very unnecessary, and it took too fucking long, you know? The fact that these kids have all grown up in this time is that's ridiculous, you know? It's ridiculous how much they've aged compared to how much their characters have aged, you know? Even at the end, where it's they finally have graduated high school, they still haven't caught up to how old these actors are, you know? I think I saw Charlie Heaton, the actor who plays Jonathan, he has a son, an 11-year-old son who's starting to watch Stranger Things. And he's supposed to, throughout this season, he's supposed to be like, what, 20 years old at the most? Like, just, kind of like I said last episode, I hope everyone does get more roles after this. I like all these actors. I hope they do get more roles, I hope they're in better stuff after this. I know some of them have already started. I mean, fucking, isn't Sadie Sink in fucking Oscar-winning movies, And she had to come back to this shit. But I certainly hope they all get more jobs. I will also say, was it Jamie Campbell Bower? That man better get some more roles, because, I know some people don't like Vecna, and like, I understand it, but like, and I really get, because it's like, he's kind of a problem. Like, he is a bandage on the problem, like the problems of this show, in the same way that they put, these metal plates over the cracks in Hawkins. They did that with this whole show by just putting, Vecna duct tape over the whole thing, because he was a fix, because the Mind Flayer is not a villain. They didn't have a villain, 3 seasons in, suddenly they had to do something, and they kind of had to tie it into 11 and everything, so they desperately needed Vecna, and I still understand if people don't like him, but he is duct tape. That said, the actor is really good, The actor is really damn good. And yeah, I don't know. I like him. I like I like this guy. I think he did really well. I think he kind of saved a lot of this, these 2 seasons, because he's just really interesting, But that's that. That's Stranger Things. We made it through. We are done. And we are all going to move on to different things. I'm going to move on to, at the very least, better shows to watch. I'm going to move on to better shows to watch. I don't know how long we'll go. But we are going to keep going, obviously. I am going to keep going with the channel for a while. And then, yeah, we're all going to go off to bigger and better things. And we're all going to leave Stranger Things behind. Okay. Once again, thank you if you have stuck it out through the whole thing. But that's that. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Stranger Things reactions if you want to go watch all of them, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.